Starting into personal financial literacy, PFL unit. And this is lesson 3. We'll be talking about sales tax. And we've done a little bit of percentages, quite a bit. Well, actually, quite a bit this year. And this is calculating sales tax. And sales tax is a percentage charge on goods, or it can be services that you are paying for. And taxes are used to fund various state and local government agencies and provide benefits to residents. And so we have different kinds of taxes, and we're going to talk about some of those various ones that you need to know. And one of those is sales tax. There are other taxes like income tax. That's taxes on your income that you bring in. There's property taxes where you pay taxes on the property that you own. And so all of those things come into play. Sales tax is one of the benefits where the sales tax can go to education or funding services, federal groups. And so these are all taxes have a good reason for them and help us benefit us in life. So we're going to use some problems in the below just to calculate sales tax. It says Amanda is creating a shopping list for various gifts to give over the holiday season. The table shows the prices of the items that Amanda plans to purchase. Complete the table below to determine the amount of tax on each item and its total cost. So not only are we going to be calculating the amount of tax, but also the total cost. And of course, total we know means to add up what you have to find that total. So it says here the price is $18.50 on a DVD, and the tax rate is 8%. Here in Johnson City, we're at about 8.25%. So this is roughly kind of real life to you, so you kind of get an example. And so we're going to have $18.50, and we're going to multiply it by a tax rate of 8%. So just a reminder, you're multiplying by 0.08, not 0.8. Remember, 8% means 8 out of 100, which means 800ths. That decimal moves twice to the left. Then you're going to multiply 1850 times 0.08 to get your tax. Your amount of tax is going to be. And we're going to calculate that. I'm going to use this little white space up here on the left to help me out. And I'll also use it on the right, excuse me, and also on the left. And on my left from my right. So we're going to start over here on the left, and we're going to do 18.5. I'm going to go ahead and leave off the 0 for now. And we're going to multiply by 8%, so 0.08. Reminder, you're not lining up the decimal. I am going to move my happy memory cloud 3 places on my decimal. So 8 times 5 is 40, carry 4. 64 and 4 is 68, carry 6. 8 times 1 is 8, and 6 is 14, and I get my first row. And hopefully you got that same answer for the first row. When I go to do the second row, if I do a hug and a kiss here, I would just simply be multiplying by 0, which doesn't do anything for the decimal at all. So I'm simply going to move my decimal 3 places. Count it 1, 2, 3. And I move it 1, 2, 3 to the left, and I get my amount of tax, which is $1.48. $1.48. Now to get the total, I would add the $1.48 as my tax back to my price. So to get my total, I've got my 18.50, that's $18.50, plus my $1.48. I'm going to add those together. So 18.50 plus my $1.48. I like this line because I can line up my decimals. When you're adding or subtracting, line them up. So $19.98 is my grand total. That's what I would owe. Let's take a look at the book. The book is $12. Tax rate is 8%. That means I'm going to multiply by 0.08. It's 8% of my $12. So I'm going to multiply those two. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to take my $12. Again, it's just simply 12, a whole number, times 0.08. So really, it's just 12 times 8. My happy memory cloud will move 2 times to the left. 16, carry 1 is 9, and move my decimal twice to the left. I get 96 cents. So the smaller the dollar amount, it's really not that you have on your purchase, the amount of tax is not going to be very big. What 8% means is it's 8 cents on the dollar because it's 8 out of 100 or 8 pennies. That means if I had a dollar item, it would be 8 cents, it'd be $1.08. That's what it means. So since I have $18, it's 8 cents on every dollar plus 8 cents on the 50. That's what's happening. So we got $12 plus my 96 cents. I don't even have to do the math by lining it up because I know it's $12.96. Pretty simple. Art set 2650 times 0.08. So 26.5 times 0.08. 3 movements of the decimal. We get 40, carry 4, 48, 49, 51, 52. 16 and 5 is 21. And move my decimal 3. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. Make sure I get it, my loop-de-loops in between. So I got $2.12 for my amount of tax. And I'm going to leave the 0 off the back because I don't need it. You only have 2 decimal places. If I would have had a third decimal, I would need to round to the hundredths or the penny. So I got 2650 plus my $2.12 in tax for a grand total of $28. I should have wrote this out. 2650 plus my $2.12 for a grand total of $28.62. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and just mark this down. So 9 times 8 cents is 9 times 8. It's 72 cents. That one's actually easy to calculate mentally. And so I've got my $9 plus my 72 cents for a grand total of $9.72. If Amanda only has $40 to spend, then which items could she purchase? So you have to think about taxes when you're doing that, which means it has to be under 20 and 20. So could she purchase the DVD for 20? Let's almost $20. And could she get a book? So 20 and about 13. So yeah, that would work. So that's one possibility. Could she do a DVD and say a candle? Yes, but she couldn't do a DVD and an art set. So she could do DVD and candle. Could she get the candle's pretty cheap here? Could she get this is almost 30, this is almost 10. So could she get the art set and the candle? And the answer would be yes. All right, down to question 2. Kane is purchasing treats for his puppy, Roscoe. Oh, that's such a cute name. He selects a chew toy that is priced at $9 if the sales tax rate is 6.5%, and determine how much Kane will pay in taxes, as well as the total cost of the purchase. So we have $9. And again, I am not going to put 0.00. Y'all keep doing that. It's not necessary. I do need to move my decimal 2 places to the left. So I am going to multiply, and I'm going to go ahead and actually move the 9 to the bottom. I shouldn't have written that yet. Move the 9 to the bottom, and I'm going to put the 0.065 at the top. And just a reminder, it's not 0.65 because that would be 65%. It's 6.5%. So DP, the decimal, has to move 2 places to the left. And you're going to use this on stars, so make sure you got it down. So I'm going to go ahead, and I know I need to move my decimal 3 places. I got 45, carry 4. 6 times 9 is 54, and 4 is 58. And if I carry over the 5, I'd still get a 5 here. And I'm going to move the decimal 3 places to the left. Now, because it's money, it's a really small amount, and it should be. It's fairly small. It's going to round to the nearest penny. So the 8 looks to the 5, and that makes that 8 and 9. Uncle Sam wants every penny he can get from you. So that's 50 cents in tax. And I'm going to add that tax back to the $9. So it's $9.59. And we don't need to do that out on hand. Mr. Hollins paid a total of $113.40 for a printer. This price or that price included a 5% sales tax originally. How much did Mr. Hollins pay in sales tax? So this is kind of an is over of problem. So we've got the whole, which is the 113. He paid a total of $113.40 for the printer, and that price included a 5% sales tax. How much did Mr. Hollins pay in sales tax? So this one's a little tricky. Normally we say it is over of, and is a part. In this case, we're trying to find the original, the amount of sales tax. So if he is paying this, of what, and this is where it can kind of get confusing. 100% would be paying the whole thing, but the additional 5% sales tax, so it's 105% that he's paying. And then you're going to actually do some little solutions or solving. Okay, and so we use our butterfly trick on this. And so we're going to multiply these two. It's got to equal the product of those. So 105x equals 11,340. And we're going to divide by 105. And this is a really ugly problem, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you the answer. If you do the division here, then the division would be 108. And so that $108 is going to be coming off the cost of the 113.40 to get how much sales tax. So minus the discounted price here, and that's going to give us our $5.40 in tax. This is a really ugly question. You're probably not going to see something that complicated, so you'll be all right. We'll flip over to the back. There are some items that are non-taxable in life, and you need to know about this. But in Texas, different states have different rules. Food that is not pre-prepared. Sorry, let me put that in there. Food that is not pre-prepared is considered non-taxable. So if it's a snack or convenience items, we can tax it, like Lunchables and things like that. If you go to the deli and it's already pre-prepared, so that's different. But let's say you got like milk or eggs and things you need to cook with, those are not non-taxable items. The receipt usually tells you an F for food and a T for taxable. So if it has an F for food, you're not getting taxed on it. T means taxes are being charged. Subtotal is the sum of all items prior to any taxes or discounts. And your grand total or your total is the total including the taxes with it. So subtotal is prior to those taxes, and then total is including the taxes. So Trent picks up a few necessities as local neighborhood market and uses the receipt to answer the questions below. Determine the subtotal of all the taxable items. So back to taxables, that's all your T's. So you add the $3.50 plus the $2.50 for a grand total of $6. So $6 I can be taxed on of this money. The sales tax rate is 6%. Well, that's pretty low. Then calculate the amount of taxes owed. So that's 6% of my $6. So that's 0.06 times 6. And 6 times 6 is 36 with 2 movements of the decimal point. That means my taxes are 36 cents. And then the total amount that he's going to pay for his purchases. That means this is the tax he's paying, the 36 cents, but he's buying all of this. So we only totaled these two, which is $6. I still have to include the $1.75, the $3, the $3.25. Let's add those. 6, 7, 8. That's $8 plus the $6 that I had in taxable items for $14. And then I have the 36 tax. So $14 plus 36 cents, and this is tax, for a grand total of $14.36 for his entire bill. That's his total. So we have to make sure we include tax and the other amounts as well for this whole bill. Mrs. Gomez purchases a pair of sneakers for $32.50 and 2 shirts. You got to read these carefully, for $13 each. And Mrs. Gomez pays 8% in sales tax. Then what is the total cost? And that's adding and some multiplication possibly. But reminder, we have sales tax included. So we got a pair of sneakers, $32.50. We have 2 shirts at $13 either. You can either add 13 and 13 to get 26 or add it twice, either way. We need a total here and find out what our bill is, $58.50. And then we're going to tax that at 8%. So I'm going to leave the 0 off here and multiply by 0.08, moving the decimal 2 places. I'm going to have 3 movements of my decimal overall. That's 40. 64 and 4 is 68, and 40 and 6 is 46, and move my decimal 3 places. So my amount of tax, and this is tax right here, is $4.68. So I got my $58.50 plus my tax of $4.68. And that should give me a grand total of $63.18 for my whole bill. So total, multiply by the tax on the total, add the tax back to the total, or the partial total, I should say subtotal. So the $58.50 is a subtotal. I'll put subtotal. And then I tax it and get my tax, and then I add my tax back to my subtotal to get my grand total, my final answer. A local service technician charges $149.80 for a service call. This price includes a 7% sales tax. How much of the charge is sales tax? This is back to a problem like we did earlier. And actually, let's just go ahead and ignore that one for today. A new oven is priced at $628.30. The sales tax rate is 7%. What is the cost of the sales tax on the new oven? Okay, so we know it's $628.30 with a sales tax rate of 7%. That's times 0.07. We can ignore the 0 back here. So we're going to multiply. 7 times 3 is 21, carry the 2. 56 plus 2 is 58, carry the 5. 14 and 5 is 19. 42 and 1 is 43. Move your decimal. How many places? 3. Always remember we're rounding to the nearest penny. So my amount of tax is going to be $43.98 because the 1 back here leaves the 8 alone. Okay. So that's it for the first part of the lesson today, which is just lesson on sales tax. And then we'll be moving on to income tax in just a minute. All right, we'll see you on the next video.